Howdy and welcome to another postcard from Morehead. I'm Larry Dixon, and what are we doing today? We're doing a little bit of a different version of jambalaya. We're doing it in the old slow cooker. We're going to cook for about 4 hours. Got the ingredients laid out here, and we've got our red bell pepper, tomato paste, rice, andouille sausage, ham, thyme, oregano, and I've got my Cajun seasoning that I purchased at the Mardi Gras School of Cooking when I was in New Orleans. I got red pepper, petite diced tomatoes, a large onion, celery, and chicken broth. So the first thing I'm going to start doing is one thing that's different about this recipe than regular jambalaya. The regular jambalaya has shrimp in it. Well, shrimp does not agree with Lenore, so we are using chicken, ham, and andouille sausage, but no shrimp. This is going to be an easy, delicious, amazing meal. It only takes about 4 hours. So let's start with cutting up our celery. That's got my 2 cups of celery chopped up. Next, we're going to do our red bell pepper. Take that vein out. Okay, that's got the vein removed. Now we're going to do a fine chop on this bell pepper. That's got my bell pepper chopped up in little fine pieces. Next is going to be a whole onion, a large onion. Well, there's got my large onion chopped up, going to the bowl to the side. So what am I going to chop up next? I think I'm going to do the chicken next. I'm going to take my chicken and cut it up into little cubes. But the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to cut it right down the center. That will make it more bite-sized and cook more evenly. So I'm going to make some little bite-sized chunks. These are 2 chicken breasts, and they're large chicken breasts. This is good stuff. I promise you, you're going to like it. Well, that's got my chicken cut up into little bite-sized pieces. What I need to do next is to wash off my knife in some soapy water. Put this cutting board to the side. Well, I've washed off my knife. I've got a clean cutting board, and the next thing I need to do, I'm going to cut up 1 pound of andouille sausage. And you can make these cuts any size that you want, as thick as you want, as thin as you like, because they're going in the slow cooker and they're going to cook thoroughly. Okay, that's 1 pound right there of andouille sausage. Next is going to be my ham. I'm going to cut it up. Okay, we are ready to put this together so we can have slow cooker jambalaya without the shrimp or seafood. So I'm going to turn the slow cooker on, set it for 4 hours. I'm going to add 2 cups of chicken broth. Next is 28 ounces of diced tomato, not drained. Set that to the side. Add our 2 stalks of celery, 1 large red pepper, 1 large onion, 1/2 teaspoon of cayenne red pepper, 2 teaspoons of oregano, all of the ingredients are going to be listed down below in the description. Let's see, what's next? Let's put our meat in next. Let's go ahead and dump our chicken in there. The last ingredient, almost the last ingredient, is the tomato paste. Get all of that in there. And now but what about the rice? This is going to be in the slow cooker for 3 hours. Stir it occasionally to make sure all those flavors mix and get together. And then the last hour, in 3 hours, we're going to add our rice. You are not going to believe how good this is. So before I put the lid on, I'm going to have to give this a good stir. I'm telling you, that is looking pretty cotton picking tasty right there. I can't wait until we get to try this and enjoy all of these flavors. Set a timer for 3 hours, so I come back and put my rice in, and then I'm going to let it cook for 4 full hours on high. Welcome back. It has been 3 hours cooking on high, and I know you've been concerned about this rice. That does not look like a whole lot of rice, but it's going to swell up. And now's the time to add the rice. Looking tasty, smelling tasty. I'm going to add the rice. I'm going to give it a stir. Get it all mixed up. And also, just so you know, I came back about, every half hour. I gave it a stir to make sure all those flavors got mixed together. So we are on the downhill side. Going to put the lid back on and let it cook for another hour. Then we're going to have some slow cooker jambalaya. Well, it has been 4 hours since we started this slow cooker jambalaya, and it looks pretty cotton picking tasty. It is hot, so we're going to have to let this cool off a little bit before we do the taste test. So I'm going to scoop some of this out. So the ingredients are listed below. This has been in the slow cooker for 4 hours. Lenore baked some cornbread. So I always like to include a little history about the food that we're making. Jambalaya was first spotted in 1849 in a magazine called The American Agriculturalist. That was just 14 years before Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation. In that article, a Solon Robinson, a white man, wrote about jambalaya that he encountered during a trip to Alabama. There were no tomatoes in his recipe, and it also incorrectly referred to it as Hoppin' John because Hoppin' John usually has black-eyed peas. After emancipation in 1863, African Americans began to write cookbooks that reached the mainstream of the public with these cookbooks. It was 1881 when a Mrs. Fisher Knows About Old Southern Cooking included a recipe called Jambalaya, and I know I did not pronounce that correctly. Anyway, that looked a lot like modern day jambalaya that we see today. As the dish evolved over time, it was commonly identified by the use of tomatoes, tomato paste, as well as a mix of shrimp, andouille sausage, and chicken with Cajun seasonings, as well as onion, bell pepper, and celery. The dish varies throughout Louisiana and the South, with some versions using fewer tomatoes than others, some not at all. With this version, we did not put the shrimp in it, we substituted ham. So the meat is, in this recipe, is the andouille sausage, the ham, chicken. Okay, we're going to let this cool for just a minute, and it may cool enough already. Let me give it a taste. It's hot, but a small taste. Lenore, come on in here. Just a little taste there, because it is still piping hot. I call that a 100% success. 2 thumbs up. Lenore, what about the seasoning?
It's a little hot.
I think it's perfect, but
it could calm down just a little bit.
I think it is perfect. I don't think you would definitely need to add more seasoning to it. This has been the slow cooker jambalaya, and 4 hours in a slow cooker, and you have got a meal that you will want to do again and again. Don't forget, hit that like, subscribe, and share button. This is Larry Dixon and Taste Tester Lenore, postcard from Moorhead. See you down the road.